All right, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Directors, Tuesday, August 12th, 1900. Let's start with a roll call, please.
Director Coverdale?
Yeah.
Director Michelson?
Yes.
Director Mueller?
Yeah.
Vice President Feldman?
Yeah.
President Reynolds?
Here. All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
All right. Do we have any public comments? It's easier when we had the green slip program, but now no little hand on the monitor. All right. We have any directors who'd like to comment or remove an item from the consent calendar? And I should go ahead at this time and mention that I did review the month's July's disbursements, and I found all in order. So with that, we'll go on. Bob?
I have one comment. Don't want to remove anything. It's item 4J. It's the Association of California Water Agencies Aqua collection of board officers and Region 5 board members for the 2026-2027 term. As it is on the consent calendar, will be approved by you as part of the approval. And essentially, we're going with the nominees of the nominating committee at Aqua. We reviewed that, and I recommend that we did that. And I wanted to mention that the president that is the nominee this year is Ernie Avila, who's the Contra Costa County Water District Region 5, which I think is a credit to the region and gives us some influence. And that one Mr. John Muller is being nominated for another term on the Region 5 board. So I thought I would bring that to your attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make a comment about the financial report. Remember what item that was a B? What was the B?
B is the financials.
Yeah, I just thought it was really exciting to look at how effectively the district's budgeting has worked out. I mean, we're really in a strong position. I really appreciate that. And I know it's because staff pays careful attention to what's going on. I also thought it was really nice to see that unlike other years, the capital improvement budget, we're really starting to spend the money. The amount of money that we spent this month was significant in my history with the water district. 3.5 million or something.
Yeah, it's a big number.
It's a lot of money. And so what that means is it's a good thing that we did the things that we did to make sure we have money on hand to cover those bills.
Yeah.
Because, 3.5 million a couple months in a row is a lot of $10 million bucks. Yeah.
It's actually 1.8 million.
Oh, I'm sorry, but there were other expenses.
Yeah, I thought the total for the disbursements was more than.
No, well, a lot of the disbursements actually were items that we spent last month. So we've had some big months of spending.
Yeah.
So yes.
I guess the point I was making, I apologize for my lack of perfection on the numbers and where they came from, but we're spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think it's because we got a lot of money. I think it's because there's a lot of activity, like the tank that's being
Yeah,
constructed.
watch the time lapse on our website.
That's the
Well,
last.
the camera doesn't make it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, did I bring up the camera again?
Yeah, it's a great camera.
All right.
It's good for a while like that.
Okay. Any other comments on the consent calendar?
I move we approve the consent.
I'll second that.
All right. Let's have a roll call, please, quickly. before I
Director
change my
Coverdale?
mind.
Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Muller,
Aye.
Vice President Philbin,
Yes.
President Rex.
Yes. All right, do we have any meetings attended or directors? All right, let's go hear from John.
Well, I'll make it very brief here because it was wonderful last night with the Ag Advisory Committee on the item on their agenda. And Mary got up to make some great comments, and Aaron and myself were there, but I talked to the county staff after and told them how valuable we are. And I didn't want us to become a Western Marin issue. Stick with us. So I think they appreciated that. And it was great. We had one public comment going on about our well field, about taking water from the farmers, but the reduced acreage, we all remember hundreds of acres up there. Now they're probably down to 40 or 50 at the most. So anyway, that was a great meeting. They did vote on that for us last night for our CDP, correct? Right, Mary? Mary answered a great question about our well field. And Aaron was there too and did a great job. So that was quickly one of them. And then I did go on my own, believe it or not, to FBI and InfraGard conference up in Stockton. And I did mention to them regarding, I keep getting emails that I've increased my salary at CCWD online every day. And my wife says, where the heck's the money? Oh, it's that scam. It's just, and that's why I brought a brochure back for staff here regarding InfraGard. They're feeling that every day throughout California, up towards and stuff. So that was a good one. And then the other one was, I went on my own to Disaster Prepare Day at Coverdale County Fairgrounds, August 2nd. And all the fire departments were there. I mentioned to the professional service that we're getting from our staff, our fire hydrant outfits that they're supplied to me. They couldn't believe how this didn't think they're operating like they, you know, in our gravity flow tanks and our new tanks and our water capacity. And so anyway, that's been my involvement. Other than that, doctor's appointments. I know you guys don't have that problem. Got another one tomorrow morning.
Favorite meeting?
Oh, Bosco, status quo. Still, you know, status quo, we're just hurrying up and waiting, trying to get attention from the governor's office. You know, there is frustration, you know, obviously, you know, legal, just we keep paying legal every year and we're not making any headway. But other than that, no changes.
Bob?
Two items. I had the opportunity to do a visit to the first floor, wall floor last Friday. And with Darren and Mary and, I'm sorry, yeah, and Sean. Let me tell you, I'm not easily impressed. I must say that after some long years of experience, but I was impressed with what I saw in terms of that wall section. It wasn't, of course, it was the framework. It was the false work that they used to form it. That was 44 feet high. Okay, that's pretty high. And you know, why is it quite this high? And why does this thing tower above us? Well, it turns out, of course, the footprint of a 2 million gallon tank in that area is such that you have to make it twice as high as the other tank that was there, which was only half as full. And it's the same amount of water as the Alps tank, which is twice as big and half as high. In any event, it's 44 feet of framed lumber that they have windows in for pouring the concrete. I didn't watch the full pour, but I mean, it was clockwork. It was really well orchestrated. I was impressed with the way these guys did that. And they just pulled it off without a hitch. I mean, it's just like they knew what they were doing. I mean, that was my impression, not being an expert in stuff. And what I also learned, of course, is that when tanks finish, the dome will be 58 feet high, almost 4 stories. in that spot. So this is gonna be a big piece of construction.
Just
And I told Mary, this is one of the biggest things we've done on the coastside in 50 years.
the tallest structure in half moon. Bay.
Yeah, it is. This thing is gigantic. And I mean, it's gonna be 58 feet high, and I'm gonna have to build the forest inside the tank to put that framework in place to put the concrete top on. So just, if you have a chance to see one of the walls and the framework, it's almost more fun to watch, to see the wood.
On the camera, we saw you signing your name in concrete. so
I have proof that I expected the thing. But anyway, it was very, very impressive. The fact that it was done so efficiently, that everything was in place, to me is really a credit to everybody that's been working diligently to make this happen. And, you know, we're spending a lot, but it's worth the money and the effort that we're doing to make this thing work. And boy, I'll tell you, this is gonna be quite something when it's done. There's nothing like it in Half Moon Bay, nothing at all. I mean, the Crystal Springs, of course, is there in Nunez, but this is different. Physically, this thing is impressive, and it will be. So very interesting. The second, I'm sorry,
You know, go ahead.
the second thing was, we had on yesterday, was it? Seems like years ago. We had, JPIA came in and did an on-site sexual harassment training course for 12 people, 15 actually, I think. 3 of whom were not managers who left after half of it. The other dozen were managers or people of authority. And it was different. I hadn't done it this way. I've done 15 online training of these things over the last years. And I have to say that it was a worthwhile experience, only in that one got to sense how the staff worked together, how people interacted, how you were able to get the sense of people's views and things. And I think it was an excellent training thing for me, as well as just getting that job done. It's much more worthwhile than online stuff. You don't get much out of that. This gives you a much better sense of the things surrounding all of the program and the people listening and how they take it and what they see. And even the president there was quite enthusiastic. So I think it was a good thing. I'm not sure we've done them before, but it was a good milestone or a good pilot as I saw it. So whatever it's worth. Thank you.
Ken?
Oh, I'm done.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Let's go on to general business.
Okay. We have 2 EKI proposals tonight, and John Sutter is zoomed in. So the first one is it's a proposal to provide the engineering services for rehabbing the sedimentation basin. So at Nunez. So in June 2024, the district completed the Nunez water treatment plant upgrade project. And this project included adding a new plate settler sedimentation basin. This second sed basin provided the district with redundancy to one of its key treatment processes. So the original sed basin was built as part of the Crystal Springs project in the early 90s and has barely been taken offline for inspections and repairs. And certainly not in many to most of our employees' tenure at the district, with the exception of Sean. Given that the addition of the second sed basin, the district now has the capability to take the original sed basin offline for refurbishment. So in July 2024, the district took the sed basin of the original sed basin offline, and we had Brentwood Industries conduct an inspection of the chain of flight and mechanical systems. The district also engaged Bay Area coding consultants to conduct a coding conditions assessment. So Brentwood recommended that the basin's 3 collector systems be replaced, and Bay Area coding recommended a complete recoding and repair of repairs to the concrete. So EKI's proposal covers a structural evaluation, design services, bid support services, and engineering services during construction, an amount not to exceed $236,600. So,
Discussion.
I had a question.
Yeah,
When we read a proposal like this, I am assuming that that's not the contract. Is there a separate actual contract
Yes,
that's
yes.
signed? And what's the liability of an engineering firm? I mean, if something that they design or they create and we rely on and it doesn't function as we expect, what does it say in our contract or what are our rights in those situations?
Yeah, I don't have the contract. EKI's had a contract with the district that goes back a number of years.
But we use the standard professional.
We use the standard professional, but
Right.
what we've done is we kept that contract in place and that hasn't changed from the original negotiated contract. And what we've been doing is kind of adding on to that and using the same form.
Yes.
And I don't know, Jonathan, if
John,
you
do you
have it
wanna-
handy, I don't have it with me.
I just wonder what EKI's liability is in there.
well, this is why we picked a young engineer, because it's a lifetime warranty. And it's young, the other guy was really old and we were really worried their lifetime warranty wasn't very good.
Well,
I can tell you just generally we require the engineer to meet the standard of care of professional engineers and some others in their industry. And they are protected. Engineers have different indemnity protections that we can't impose on them. So their indemnity obligation is limited to their negligence and willful misconduct. And that's kind of standard for professional.
Because I think we could ask John if it doesn't work, he could fix it for free. Is that fair, John?
Make sure you use the last name too, not me.
and so you're referring to errors in emission?
Well, there's an indemnity and they're required to also have insurance too.
Yes.
So they do have insurance.
What's the limit of the insurance with the,
There's a general, commercial general liability of 2 million. And then, professional liability insurance of 1 million per occurrence and 2 million aggregate.
I mean, I'm not assuming that there will ever be problems. I'm just curious to know. So,
Gina, can we up the volume?
She just needs to change it to the speakers up here. I was just hearing.
John, we heard you say it was very muted, but it
Oh,
sounded,
I'm sorry. Sometimes
there we go.
with Zoom, it doesn't get the mic very well.
Thank you.
I can tell you at Boston meetings, we have 3, if not 4 AV guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, while it can be a little wonky, we're not paying 3 or 4, 3 or 4 AV people, yeah.
No, I heard John's assurance it'll all work perfectly, and he says it will. I think I would comment that, I inspected the site, we looked at the said basin, we drained it. And for a system that's been 35 years underwater, its job is to move sludge to a drain. And it does it with a mechanical chain and gear wheel system. And it's been in place for 35 years. I was really impressed how well the equipment was and how good it looked. And I was really thrilled because it speaks really well of the good condition our equipment is in. And I'll be the first to say I was really a strong leader that we had redundancy in the said basin. It's very complicated to run that treatment plant without a said basin. It's a real shift and the regulator would be on us like a wet napkin. So I think that we should be really proud that we have now the redundancy. And then the second thing I think we should feel really good is that equipment was not, hanging together by baling twine and dental floss. And so servicing it and getting another 35 years, John would get another 35 years out of the rehab. So I think that's really good news. So I'm in favor and we should. John, yeah, we'll let you take some water and then if anybody have any other comments on this contract?
Mr. Chair, this is the key words, accept, no motion, correct?
Correct, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we still.
We're authorizing.
Oh, yeah.
We're authorizing the general manager to sign for $236,600. John, you're gonna be working around the clock to run up that kind of a bill.
So, you
Yeah, I
know,
have a good team. It's not just me.
in that vein, what is your personnel, classification?
We have a team of civil engineers.
No, yours, Jonathan.
Oh, I'm a professional civil engineer.
No, because I see like a senior one, senior two.
Oh, I'm a principal.
Oh, that's what I was kind of guessing. Principal engineer scientist.
Yes.
Okay. All right. No, congratulations. Your mother must be very proud of you.
I move that we authorize the general manager to enter into a professional service agreement with EKI Environmental and Water, Inc. for engineering services for the newest water treatment plant sedimentation basin rehabilitation project for a not to exceed amount of $236,600. How to get that $600?
All right, we need a second.
Second.
All right, we could have a roll call, please.
Director Coverdale,
Aye.
Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Mueller,
Aye.
Vice President Philbin,
Yes.
President Reynolds.
Yes. All right, so same vendor, but different area.
So, in July, the district completed the Highway 92 emergency pipeline replacement project, which included a replacement of 5,600 linear feet of pipe on Highway 92 from Pastorino's Pumpkin Farm and La Nevia along the Cosalina properties and Paxton Studio to just before the old Limp Farm property. So this new pipeline replaced the middle section of the 12-inch welded steel potable pipeline, which a portion of it had been damaged during the January 2023 storms. This pipeline is the oldest pipeline in the district. It was installed in 1947 as the raw water pipe and then later became a potable water pipe for the community on Highway 92. So staff would like to move on and forward with phase 2 of the project to ultimately replace the remaining east and west portions of the pipe of this recently completed pipeline. So this project includes geotechnical consulting work to explore the subsurface conditions for each of the 2 remaining creek crossings along the proposed alignment and a pre-design study by EKI to evaluate what alternatives are available to us with these sections and rehabilitating them. So I don't know.
Will this project require easements?
We don't know at this point.
Any best guess?
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say it will, at a minimum, require temporary easements during construction. But it's to be determined whether our original concept tried to minimize the amount of permanent easement that would be needed. We're hoping to stay as much as possible within the existing easement.
Yeah, I would recommend that we tread very lightly on the easement requirements and we cautiously proceed with direction from the board prior to easement negotiation if it's required.
So this initiative, this proposal to do the pre-design work is a not to exceed amount of $85,500.
Great, any thoughts? Okay. I'll make the motion that I gotta read the whole thing. I'll make a motion that we authorize the general manager to enter into a professional service agreement with EKI Environmental and Water, Inc. for a geotechnical investigation and pre-design study for the Highway 92 pipeline project phase 2 for not to exceed amount of $85,500.
No, second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Director Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Michelson,
Yeah.
Director Mueller,
Aye.
Director Philbin,
Yes.
President Reynolds.
Yes. All right, our next one is Mary to talk about resolution
No, no.
16-.
We're going for
C.
I didn't see. It says waive the district. The bidding requirement of resolution 16-09. What's in section C? Follows section B. I think we should do it next.
Yeah, this is it. Sorry. Okay, so in 2024, the district contracted with Central Roofing to replace the lower and upper roofs at the new Munis water treatment plant, which is a good portion of the roof. In recent rains, staff discovered issues with the generator roof that also requires repairs. So we are asking for the board to approve the sole sourcing of this work with Central Roofing as per resolution 2016-09. Given that we have we're very comfortable with Central Roofing's work and they're familiar with the site.
Well, I thought getting free water into our clear well with glass roof was a good plan, but the generator and electricity water doesn't mix. So, are they going to do this before it rains?
Yes.
That would be good. Yeah, it'd be really nice, wouldn't it?
Thermoplastic polyolefin is TPO. That's the roof style.
That's what's on.
What's the lifespan of this stuff?
It's got a guarantee of 20 years.
A warranty of 20 years?
Yeah, with a guarantee of over.
Yeah, a well-maintained TPO roofing system can last 20 to 30 years.
Yeah, John about his warranty. The roof guys- Are you gonna make a motion? Great, John, go for it.
I would like to, I would move to waive the district's competitive bidding requirement of the resolution 2016-09 and authorize the general manager to award a contract to complete the generator roof repairs at the Nunes Water Treatment Plant from Central Roofing Incorporated for a not to exceed amount of $34,300. So move.
I'll second that.
All right, do a roll call.
Director Coverdale,
Aye.
Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Mueller,
Aye.
Vice President Philbin,
Yes.
President Reynolds.
Yes.
The next item.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it just was, it's kind of, yeah. Going along. How's the roof on this building doing?
Oh, we replaced it.
And did we use the same thing
Yes.
or?
Same contractor, same roof.
Oh, no kidding.
They've been very.
3 years ago or so.
They've had some very good success. with
Very
it.
recent.
Oh, good. Okay.
They've been a great partner.
That only leaves one building, doesn't it?
They did the Al's roof as well,
No, I meant the,
the shop.
no, the treatment plant down at the north end of our district. What's that roof like?
Actually, I haven't been up there.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever talked about it. It's like,
We'll wait till it starts dripping.
yeah.
We'll get back.
How's the shop roof since you brought it up?
The shop roof has a few more years, but we will be there.
All
We
right,
keep a close eye out.
all right. Mary, take us away with the next one.
So, given our recent organizational changes at the district, staff reviewed its procurement policies, including resolution 2016-09, which we just referred to, the awarded contracts, and also the district's purchasing policy, for updates. So, per resolution 2016-09, award of contracts, the general manager can authorize up to 30,000 limit. The board of directors is over 30,000. Staff is proposing the resolution be amended to allow the president, vice president, or standing committee to approve contractual agreements between 30 and 50,000. Such agreements would be reported to the board of directors at the next regular board meeting. We discussed this option a while back, a month or so ago with the president and vice president, and determined that might be a nice happy medium to let us have more flexibility. These amounts haven't been changed since 2012, but again, it does, put it so that, it allows us to set limits on, dealing with some of our contracts that I only have authorization to 30,000. So we have that item. And then we also have changes to the purchasing policy. And those changes are largely housekeeping. And then the major change is removing the superintendent position and putting in its place our water treatment plant operations manager and water distributions manager at the same purchasing levels. I have one more change on this. I didn't, that came to my attention after we put together the board package. We talk about credit cards, and the water resource analyst has a credit card as well. So that needs to be added into this section and to the purchase order, the expenditures under $500. We would request that the first item with the award of contracts is actually approving a resolution to replace 2016-09. And then the second one is just going to be the updates.
Go ahead, Ken.
I'm really surprised by this. The standing committee has the right to authorize up to 50,000. Has that ever occurred? I don't know.
No, this is new.
This
is a change. So what we looked at was that we're keeping the cap at 30,000. We're now less than other districts in what the general manager's authorized to sign.
Yeah.
And Bob and I, in talking about it, thought that we're really comfortable with that $30,000 limit. However, there are cases where if money needed to be spent for something in a urgent manner, that an alternative that Bob came up with, which was to then say that the general manager plus at least 2 members of the board. So did I get that right? 2 members or 1 member of the board?
I think it's one.
Or vice president or standing committee.
So basically it's saying that if the general manager need to spend case placeholder $40,000, then the general manager would ask one of the board members or a standing committee to validate that excess between 30 and 50,000.
But that isn't what it says.
It's my understanding of how it is, but Patrick can translate the
It looks to me
legalese.
like a standing committee could approve.
I think you're reading from the staff report, not the actual
Oh, okay.
resolution.
or president, vice
Yeah,
president.
Is this, I
Yeah.
forgot, in the resolution, is it in order, president first, as option, vice president, and then standing committee? Or it can be in any order.
No, it says may be approved by the president or vice president or a standing
Yeah, I think
board
all equal
committee.
standings.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no order of precedent.
Okay, no president, I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
So
So the general manager, it's just like countersigning a check. It should have 2 signees.
I understand the principle. I just,
Well, we just didn't take, we didn't feel comfortable with raising it to 50 for 1 signature. We felt we should have a counter signature, so to speak.
well, I don't have any problem with it being raised to 50,000, but I have a problem with how it gets approved.
I like the oversight, board member oversight is kind of a nice caveat.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought I feel really comfortable when I know that a consultant shows up who we didn't hire, we know it's limited to $30,000, right, or less. And so if there's some, acquisition or something and you know that there's a cap on it, right? And so I think that giving Mary the flexibility to go above that, but with another person's from the board weighing in is better than just raising it to 50. That was my take. I think that's was Bob's take.
I hear you, but I would prefer just to raise it to 50,000 and keep it as it's currently written. I'm just telling you what I think.
Let me just be sure that it's clear from what's in the resolution
Right.
as opposed to the staff report. So the resolution breaks down the order contracts for professional services, construction contracts, purchase of equipment and supplies, general, and then there's change orders and sole source procurements. For each of those three types, no change. The general manager is authorized to enter those contracts that don't exceed 30,000. The change is if the contract is between 30 and 50, it can be approved by the president, the vice president, or a standing committee. And then if it's over $50,000,
Full board.
it needs to come back to the board, which is no change. So the only change is that middle 30 to 50,000 where Mary can come to president, vice president, or standing committee and say, I need your approval. And then if one of those three approves it, it will be reported to the board at the next regular board meeting in some fashion. So that's the change. And then that's also built into sole source. So if there's a sole source, same authority, there's no change to the contract, to the change order. So the change order, there's no authority for the president, vice president, or standing committee. So that's how the new resolution is drafted. But that's what you would be acting on if you choose to act on it tonight.
Yeah, but so I'm advocating just to raise the limit of Mary's spending authority to $50,000 and she doesn't, why does she need approval? I mean, the only difference to me is $30,000 isn't enough in today's economy. $50,000 is, but if we don't trust her completely, who the heck do we trust? And why do we need to go force her through another step to contact someone else? I just don't see the point. So I'm against it. I'm in favor of just bumping it to 50 and carrying on. She's done a great job. I mean, for years. I've never seen any spending that I had any kind of second thought or concern over. And
I think the thought was not specific to Mary, but more of a policy in general. And I think the board has been really enjoyed knowing how the money's being spent and part of that process. And I think it's a really hands-on board that this was crafted to make sure that it wasn't one person, that it wasn't restrictive, that it gave as much flexibility while keeping the board in the loop and appraised of what's going on. And so I think that's how we got to where we're at. But let's hear the other thoughts. John, tell us your thoughts.
Those were great comments, and I think as a public agency, this is a real security protection of the board and staff that were oversight. And I think that's key to this policy.
Yeah, without personalizing it
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form, optics, like John is alluding to. And I know when I've been president, working closely, it's not like as president, I'm available. If not, I'm not available, but vice president. And I've enjoyed my time as president, having a close working relationship with the general manager. And Mary has bounced things off me. And I don't see it in any way impeding her moving forward, procuring whatever. It's more optics for the public. This is the public's money. I like, another level of oversight. And I would in no way, I wouldn't never personalize it, nor would I want to impede, her taking, care of daily business.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We okay moving forward with a motion then, or do you want to table it and try again?
me personally,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I told you what I think.
Yeah, you did.
Bump it to $50,000 and carry on, and we're gonna get another general manager. You know, we don't feel as confident in that general manager as we do in the current one. It's the wrong general manager. And I just don't think $50,000 is much of an expenditure. We're, you know,
I agree, I agree that it's more the optics, frankly. We felt the optics for the public and others that you start getting big numbers like that, they might just feel a little uncomfortable. That's my opinion. 50 gets to be a number that gets my attention more than 30. I know you used to be for you.
100.
Ken, how about
No, it's nothing to do, it's not a personal thing at all.
this?
Well, I'm not being personal. I'm talking about
No, we
John.
didn't, we were.
Let me throw a question out. This policy's been in place for a while, right?
Yeah.
2016, is that correct?
And the limit that actually goes back to 2012.
Okay,
I remember.
So
I remember.
And I think perhaps maybe a way to do this is to put this one in place, float with it for a while, and then revisit it again. I don't think it's something that's cast in stone forever, but I think that the sentiment is that we want to move carefully and optics really matter. And the team was excited about it, but didn't want to limit Mary's, the ability of the general manager to get stuff when they needed it. And so that was the compromise that I think the team felt was a good way to go. And if you humor us, we'd like to try that.
Okay.
I'm really against it. So. Sorry.
Let's take a vote.
So just so you know, there's two documents in the motion.
Yeah.
The recommendation, you might want to take them one at a time.
Oh, I see.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-07, amending the district's policies and procedures for award of contracts.
And
I'll
so we're gonna
second that
split these.
motion. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So we have the first one. So let's do a roll call on that, please.
Okay, Director Coverdale.
Let me improve my optics. Aye.
Oh, come on, I wanted it to send it over.
Director Michelson.
Aye.
Director Mueller.
Aye.
Vice President Philbin.
Yes.
President Rowe.
Aye. All right, if we could have a motion to approve the updates to the district's purchasing policy.
I'll second that.
No, okay, that's
Hey,
fine.
you did it.
Okay,
That's on page 2.
Roll call, please.
okay, Director Coverdale.
Well, the reason I have to say aye is I've improved my optics twice in a row.
All right.
Director Michelson.
Aye.
Director Mueller.
Aye.
Vice President Philbin.
Yes.
I hope we have more
President
sense.
Aye.
Good point. That's
Sorry for making that
How much
suggestion.
did that?
It's all right. We're a good team, and I want to thank the whole team for having a good attitude and a good spirit and for being a great group, a great board, and so I'll put that out.
I think we have to be careful with this agenda item and we don't bring it home and show it to our spouses and loved ones. And they might make us sign the policy too.
Oh, all right,
They'll park that airplane.
there we go. Mary, you're on again.
Okay, so on July 8th, the County of San Mateo Civil Grand Jury issued a report entitled, "Will the next big one leave you high and dry?" So this report was a follow-up to a 2021-22 grand jury report that recommended that county water providers make improvements to their emergency preparedness exercises and emergency response plans, and also consider increasing water storage and emergency fuel storage. So this 2024 updated study followed up with 3 providers on the peninsula and 2 on the coast, including the district. And for us on the coast, it's really given our location and possible isolation in an emergency. So the report came up with 6 findings and 6 recommendations surrounding emergency preparedness and adequacy of water storage and fuel storage. None of the findings or recommendation were applied to the district. And no additional follow-up by the district is required. There are two agencies, City of Redwood City and Coastside, who we don't have to follow up with this report. And it's, that the report was favorable to the district, recognizing our emergency preparedness and our after action reporting. Actually, we've done a lot of things in the last few years where Darren particularly has been leading the charge to really enhance our exercises with other agencies, our drills, and even every time there's been an emergency, we sit around the table and we do what's an after action report to assess what could we have done better or differently. Our water storage and our fuel storage is in really good shape. We actually got a few years ago, we put in a 5,000 gallon fuel tank up at Munis where we can go 20 to 25 days. So it's all good news. I'm personally very proud and appreciative of our staff and all their efforts. And also Lisa's been really taking the charge on keeping us to a schedule of having meetings, and she is keeping all the documentation. I mean, some of this, what happened, we pulled together in response to this. We put a Dropbox together of hundreds of documents, really, and it was all Lisa's, doing an organization to keep track of these things. So there's always opportunities to do better, but I'm proud of how of our team with this report.
I'm a huge advocate of emergency preparedness and training, and I teach it for other water utilities. And so it's really comforting to read this independent review and see that we did very well. I want to say thank you to the staff for working so hard to be vigilant on something. And one of the things that's really hard is for the public and for our staff is that this doesn't happen every day. So it's hard to keep it fresh how important it is. And I've brought it up for the years that I've been on the board, and I'm really thrilled to say that the staff has responded really well and taken it very seriously, and it sure shows in this report. We should be very, very proud of the work they've done. So I'd say thank you to the staff and team. Patrick, how's your law firm responding, ready for emergency or earthquake? You guys all set?
We were not under investigation by the jury, so like the district don't have to respond.
Well, along this line, Mr. Chair, even when I'm at these other conferences, I've mentioned this, I brought this to the conference too, they couldn't believe it, that the grand jury was, because look at Oakland, they're having issues with their school drinking water and everybody, and now the future is out there, and I don't think they've contacted us yet, but I've heard it through the grapevine about our neighbors, Pescadero, trying to figure out how they're gonna get water going and treated water, and even a wastewater plant, but that's a whole nother subject. And years ago, I think they were pressing us for water at one point, and I think the word is we can't wheel water right down the road. So we have to be prepared if that come up again. That's all. Thank you.
So I for one, I couldn't be more proud. However, I can't say I'm surprised. I know this has been our working, our mantra here. It's just, we run a top tier organization here. So while I couldn't be more pleased to pass this with flying colors, 0 deficiencies, I'm not surprised. I mean, we have the staff, the organization, wonderful board overseeing who fund. I mean, and this takes funding. One of the big ones is, well, what happens when the power goes out? Well, it was hard when we bought all of those generators. They did not come cheaply, but we saw it as the right thing to do. We lose power. We have generators to run the entire district. Am I wrong? We can,
Crystal Springs,
that's,
that's, but everything else.
yeah, that's out, kind of almost outside of our jurisdiction
Yeah.
in that there's SFPC and other
Yeah.
places. But everything that we control, we can operate in a state of emergency. And it came at a cost, you know, we as a board had to authorize it. Our staff had to implement it. They brought us the ideas. We didn't hesitate in any way in funding these plans. And certainly the grand jury saw that we did the right thing. So I couldn't be more proud.
And the disaster day at the fairgrounds, they couldn't believe we were that efficient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're the little guy.
Yeah. Still the best.
Very good. Well, thank you for that report. Aaron, thank you for your efforts and Lisa, thank you for collating the documents and not a light thing in your response to the, how long did you have to respond to the grand jury?
Well, we got a phone call, well. For this report, actually, I had been on vacation and I think probably in a week I had to schedule an interview. But I think, you know, I just want to say Lisa's work also, she pulls together our emergency response plan and updates it. And it's a lot of, it's, you know, she really drives all of this.
Thank you.
We have to get her a badge.
Or
Probably
hard
has
hat.
some in the family who's got.
Yeah, hard hat. All right,
So
update number 10, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, this is very exciting. We had a really busy month. So, so why don't you go on to the next one? So, you know, there's a lot of items here, but basically this month was putting in the floor for the treatment plant, or excuse me, for the tank, and which included putting in the rebar, the formwork, and then doing the concrete pour. So, and then subsequent to that, if you want to go to the next one, we got all the forms, you know, the forms starting to be built for pouring the concrete walls. And so we actually poured one wall already. A second pour happens tomorrow. So very exciting activity up at the tank site. You want to go to the pictures. So the first few, you know, this first slides, this shows the process of getting the floor in. It had to be, and Aaron, you might want to explain, they had to.
Yeah, this is all the sub-base placed down before the concrete and the farm work. So very tight tolerance. I was pretty impressed with the tolerance. So it's -200s. There's no plus, just -200. So it's pretty tight. That's so they put a 30 mil PVC liner down, which is essentially that becomes your leak detection system. So if the tank was to ever leak, you would know about it. And then this is showing the vapor barrier before the rebar mat, and then the tendons which you see sticking up that are crossed like funny little X's. That's what holds the walls actually down. And then you see the rebar mat and the extra rebar around where the penetrations are, the thickened edge, and then there's the pour of the actual slab.
And moving on, we're constructing the walls. So
Yeah.
this is, what you see in the bottom pictures, that's the first form. And that is, it looks small in the picture, but it's as Vice President Feldman noted, it's pretty massive.
We gotta be careful because Trump's level will want us to build that for them down at the border or some crazy thing.
Anyway, so lots of activity, and with the wall pours, we're having, you know, the tank has 7 walls. And so these walls are being poured every 3 or 4 days. So let's say the next wall is poured tomorrow. So we'll have the walls basically done by early September, and we'll be working on the roof by middle of September.
When you, excuse me, When you say 7 walls, do you mean 7 sections?
Seven.
Creating one continuous
Seven
wall.
sections.
Yes, sir.
What do they do at the cold joints? What happens when you stop one pour and then you pour the next?
So they have a water stop. I invite you to come up, please, and we can show you there's a water stop on the verticals and on the horizontals.
Right.
And then those water stops actually get injected with epoxy. And so it fills all the voids and creates a watertight seal.
And because it's engineered to not move at all, right?
No, it's actually, if you do a little bit of research on the DN tank, it's actually independent.
Right. Oh, wow.
It's designed to move.
Oh, wow.
But once the walls are poured, then the whole thing gets wrapped.
Yeah, and wire.
With
mean, the
a
cable.
very high tension. Do you remember how many miles the wire it is?
I want to say, please don't quote me on this, but I think it's around 4 miles on this tank.
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
have the
I
7
agree.
segments with the water stops between,
Right.
joining them.
Mhm.
And then under tremendous tension,
Mhm.
they wrap it with 4 miles of plus or minus of wire
Mhm.
while they gunite concrete at the same time
Mhm.
on top of it.
Mhm.
And so it's one of the most unique kind of ways of making a really earthquake resistant structure that has proven to be tremendously strong. And they're not, as you know, when we purchase this, it's not the cheapest to purchase, it's the cheapest to own.
Right.
Because the construction is so well done up front that we end up with a tank that everything's encased in concrete. And so that's what makes it so unique. And when you saw the photo there, can we go back to the slide that showed the tendons up there?
You have the fish?
So it's really fascinating. And one of the things I would call it, so take a look at that center top slide. Right there. Those tendons are brought in at a 45 and plus or minus, but brought in an angle to tie that in. And it makes this one of the most impressive kind of structurally held together. And it's not, some of the earlier tanks that were built had single failure points. And when you look at this, they've done it kind of so far the other way that, there's thousands of feet of rebar. There's these hundreds of these tendons that are in there that tie it all together. And then it's wrapped with miles of tensioning wire. So you've really backed off from that single point of failure, that single item. And that's, I think, what makes this such an engineering marvel. And the big part of this is that one of the reasons we went with a larger tank, the mobilization to do what they're doing is a significant portion of the project. And by going larger, we gained huge cost efficiencies because the process then is repeated and more cost effective by a larger volume. And so the board should be really proud that by taking down 2 small tanks and making a much bigger, and as Bob pointed out, it is tall, it's a large tank. And the reason this was such a smart move for the district is because the economy of scale becomes fantastic, and yet it's going to be stronger than any of our other tanks.
And then how is the gunite is typically porous? So what goes over the gunite to waterproof? What's the final exterior finish?
The final exterior finish is, think of a best way to describe it, similar to hand finished stucco. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Plaster.
Yeah, I have, let me know, I'll get you plenty of pictures of DN tanks when they're finished. You'll be able to see the exterior of how they look. They're very generic.
And is there
Not quite as smooth as plaster.
is there a color to it
No,
in the end? So is it gray?
yes.
That's the final finish.
You can paint them, but we chose not to add that additional maintenance.
Yeah, great.
Defeats the purpose of putting up something maintenance free.
course, they could do an integral color stucco, right?
We discussed that. It's very difficult because it wraps in a circular fashion. And you know, probably from being a concrete contractor, if you get one truck that's not quite the same as the rest, you now
Comes up
have
flat.
yourself a candy cane.
Yeah,
And that's,
well, that's part of the beauty is it's not uniform and perfect.
And actually, it was said that because it's all men on the board, we haven't had the 40-hour color aesthetic selection course, so
Well, we'd better get a standing committee together.
there you go. All right, thank you, Mary. Our,
I think
last
John
item.
John and I did a rough computation while we were standing there looking at the stuff. And we computed that at the weight of concrete per cubic yard and all that kind of stuff, that the floor set weighs about 1 million pounds approximately. That the wall, the big circular tank's gonna weigh 2 million. And that the roof's gonna be on the order of 1.5 million. So that thing is, you get the picture, it's massive, it's like a $4.5 million, $4.5 million pounds thing. Of course, the water inside weighs a lot too. So that's the pressure on that point, that 100-foot diameter area is gonna be substantial in terms of downward tension. The numbers are really quite remarkable.
That's why, do you remember discussing with the engineering firm? To be conscious of the fact that it was the top of a hillside and above Highway
I didn't
92.
tell them that, no.
Yeah, because of the impact of all that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they figured that all in.
And they assured us that there was no problem.
No,
they did. All right, we have one more item. Oh, yeah, we do. Yes, this one. Oh, the monthly item. All right, Mary, you've got it
Numbers
again.
are crazy.
Okay, so while it doesn't happen very often, there have been times in board meetings, and maybe not ours, but various board meetings where there's technical difficulties that may occur with the with the technology, with our Zoom. And members of the public have not been able to participate in the board meeting remotely. So the district's legal counsel has suggested language to the opening paragraph of the district's board meeting agenda to address technical concerns that may prevent remote participation. And the wording, what we're looking at is that the district desires to accommodate remote participation, but there may be disruptions, and that if a disruption occurs, the board meeting may continue as long as the public may still attend the board meeting in person. So Patrick, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Sure, I'm happy to answer any questions.
so I like what Troy, because even, you know, I just mentioned, I've been doing last time, even with 3 audiovisual people at the Boston meetings, there are still glitches. It's still time consuming. And it just disrupts the flow of a very important meeting. And while I like the verbiage, while we're trying our best, there are no guarantees in this world of technology. And it's not a hardship. My God, I mean, you live at the very north end of our district and you're 10 minutes away.
I bravely come.
Yeah, so it's 10 minutes from anyone.
My only comment was, is it possible to make it shorter?
Yeah, so the reason that your legal counsel recommended this is there's no legal requirement to have remote participation.
Thank you for that.
Right? And we're doing it as an accommodation. The one legal requirement is if one of the board members are participating under AB 2449, then the Brown Act requires that there be this two-way audio visual. And so that actually this language does not apply to that situation.
Right.
If one of you are participating under AB 2449 and there's a disruption on our end with remote participation, we have to stop the meeting.
Yeah.
But otherwise, there's no legal requirement. And one of the concerns that I have is there's these technical glitches where we've told everybody you can participate remotely. And Doesn't happen very often here, but that happens occasionally. But at other agencies that I'm at, there's always remote participation. And my concern as legal counsel, if you advertise saying you can participate remotely,
And then if
and there's a problem, I think there could be an issue from a legal perspective with continuing meetings. This language addresses that. That's why it's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And so, that's the rationale.
Is there a way to trim it down to say it shorter and?
I'm sure there is. We've kind of thought about, this kind of covers it
Yeah.
so that nobody can come back and say, you didn't tell me. And so this would be my recommended.
I'm fine. I just read it.
You can make the font a little smaller.
It's very thorough,
Yeah.
too, very.
Yeah.
thorough.
Yeah, it's,
We have,
you know,
nothing-
over your
It's fine.
CYA.
we have
All right.
nothing.
You gotta have what you have to have.
So there's no action. I was working with the general
Right.
manager. We were coming
Yeah.
up with this language. There may be changes in the Brown Act where we might need to tweak it. So we thought, we'll just
That's
let you
fine.
know.
Yeah.
We'll let the public
It
know.
makes
this is
sense,
what we're
common
doing.
sense.
And then general manager and I can tweak language as needed. So there's no board action that's required.
Okay, I have no, I think the overarching concept is excellent.
Yeah.
I would say there's no warranty that we cannot guarantee that you'll be able to attend remotely. Done, but that's why they wouldn't let me into law school.
Thank you for your input.
That's why they let it, that's why they.
Should the disclaimer show up when people enter the meeting or try to enter the meeting?
It's on the agenda. You can all look at the agenda.
Yeah.
I think that covers it.
All right. Well, thank you, Patrick, and I do think that making sure that people understand that it's an accessibility.
Right.
Assistance, not a right.
Guaranteed.
And they're always welcome.
Yeah. And maybe we should put a bit about how we refurbished the general meeting room, the boardroom. They should come see it. All right, thank you. Now we're. So I think we have Mary,
Operation.
turn it over to
Darren.
Darren and.
Yeah, I'll try to make it fairly quick. So at Nunes, we completed the annual cleaning of the sedimentation basin. Obviously, we talked about that a little bit already. New weather station up at Nunes. Denison water treatment plant's been on the entire month. Spare raw water pump was ordered for Denison pump station, part of the resiliency thing that we talked about, having them on site so they're quicker to change out. Pressure washed and recoated the top of Denison tank, same thing, just, trying to maintain these things without getting huge projects. The next one, the Highway 92 emergency pipeline project completed last month. And I got to looking at some of this stuff and we did really, really well on this project. And I just wanted to share some small numbers with you quickly. So the OPC was 2.6. We came in right at 1.8. Actually completed the project about 20,000 under that. So just, with our engineering support and environmental, about 120,000 under budget. And then construction management, about 165 under budget. So, I think it's worth mentioning. Jeff and I have been kind of speaking about it. It came kind of quick, so I had to throw some numbers together quickly. But I think the project went extremely well for, as Mary said, one of the oldest pipes in the district, went without a hitch.
How many creek crossings?
There was 3.
Yeah, that should be noted too. Those are tricky.
Very tricky. Can be very tricky. So the contractor did an excellent job. Like I said, all of our partners and our consultants were just phenomenal and this really, really went smooth. Yes, sir.
Thank you for that. It looks great when we drive by up there. The main thing is the property owners are all in agreement with your comments that they've agreed to the whole process and worked out well for everybody.
Yeah, there was a lot of property owners and we took a lot of care to make sure that, we were very respectful
Thank you.
of everyone's property and tried to put it back. I think it went extremely well. So
Good.
just wanted to mention that real quick. El Granada, tank 3, we got our hypnomatic on Descada, which has been really nice. The Seymour Street pipeline extension was completed. We're in the final testing of our upgrade of our CityWorks program. It's going very well. Updated standard details and specifications with EKI. EKI and ESA on the environmental work with the pillar seal slide repairs. That'll be for a while. And Dustin got down to the Esri user conference down in San Diego, came back with a lot of really good stuff. So that was very exciting. I think that's about it.
Yeah. Thank you. Right. Last item, we have director agenda request. John, you got anything?
No, I think we're comfortable with this. There we always been staff, keep it busy.
Chris, you got it?
I'm good, thank you.
Ken? All right, Bob, you spoke. I would like to request that in January, we have our first annual long-term strategic planning session. The idea would be that I'd request a half-day approximately session. Patrick has advised us it has to be in the district, so don't get excited with your Hawaiian shirt.
Okay, go to Vegas.
The idea we'd do this annually. We started the year to plan our future adventures and long-range planning. So that's what I'd like to request.
Good.
So you're requesting the meeting, are we gonna have a discussion about how to format?
Yes.
Yep.
And when,
Yeah, well,
and when will we do that?
Actually, it's been well in progress already.
Oh,
And
good.
so what we'll do is Pat will guide us on how to communicate it, because we can't, but the committee's been working on it. and
Yeah,
It's not the
Yeah.
October time.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll start looking at detail.
Yeah.
Going forward, yeah, you'll see it was in advance of the.
Yeah.
You got it.
The venue of your house
Yeah.
came up a couple of times.
I got a great spot. We could do that.
San Francisco.
I do.
All right.
There's might be too much wine in there.
Oh, no, now we're in trouble.
Item 9.
All right, nine, adjournment. I'd like to adjourn the meeting, folks. Thank you all.
I'm so sad I gotta carry this.
Recording stopped.
I'm just so glad I drove.